Hello folks, my name is Mr. Holdridge and I will be guiding you through 4.1 today. Fun day, it's our first lesson of the unit. You can see here that we've got 5 sections in this unit and they're all on solving systems of equations or inequalities. So we're going to start right in with our first method. You can see there's quite a few methods of solving. We can do elimination, substitution, algebraically, blah, blah, blah. But our first one is going to be graphically. So we're only going to be looking at graphs. All right, this first one is done for us. So you can see I have 2 equations here now, hence the system part of it. And I'm trying to solve this graphically. So I'm going to graph both of them like we've done in the past. And the key here is that I'm looking for this intersection point right here. Okay, the intersection point is a point that is actually the solution to the system, which means it's the point that is on both lines. It works in both equations. It's the solution. So looking at number 2, before I move on, one more quick thing. Did you notice that both of lines were labeled? That's even more crucial this unit because now I have 2 lines on the same grid. Without labeling them, I don't know which is which. So let's look down here at number 2. Unfortunately, neither of these are in y equals mx plus b form, right? So I got to do that first. So I'm going to take this first one and I'm going to say, okay, 4y equals 3x plus 4. I got to get y alone. So I'm going to divide everything by 4. So I have 3/4 x plus 4 divided by 4 is 1. So my slope is 3/4 and my y-intercept is 1. Okay, not too bad. Let's look at the next one. All right, again, it's not in y equals mx plus b form. I got to get the y alone first. What's on the side with the y? Well, it's this x divided by 2, or the x over 2, right? If I want to get rid of that, what do I need to do? Well, if you're a sorter, you can be like, okay, I want to move that to the other side. I'm just going to make it negative. If you like to do the operations on both sides, then what's connecting it with the y is an addition sign. So I need to subtract. So to do that, I'm going to subtract x over 2 on both sides. And when I write this, it'll be y equals, I'm going to start with the x term, negative, and there's like a missing 1 in here in front of that x. So this is going to be written as negative 1/2 times x. Okay, so now I have the minus 4 here. My slope is negative 1/2, and my y-intercept is negative 4. All right, so now I have both equations, and I'm ready to graph. Starting with the first. Let's go with the black. Okay, so I'm going to start at 1, and I'm going to go up 3 over 4. Up 3 over 4. If you can do this, you feel confident about it, you can move ahead of me and then just check your answers. All right, so down 3 now. Down 3 and over 4. Down 3 and over 4. Okay, I'm going to connect them. Beautiful. All right. I need to make sure that I label this line. So this is 4y equals 3x plus 4. All right, let's move on to the next equation. I have a y-intercept of negative 4, and I have a slope of negative 1/2, which means I'm going to go down and then over, right? Down and to the left. So I'm going to go down 1 over 2. Down 1 over 2. Yep, this is looking good. And I got to go the other way. So up 1 to the left 2. Oh, did you see it? This is intersecting at a beautiful point. This point right here. We'll get to that in just a second. But I love when they intersect at nice points like that. Okay, and I got to make sure that I label this. So I'm going to go back to my original form. This is x over 2 plus y equals negative 4. Okay, now the solution, because if I just get this far, I really haven't done much, right? I need to clearly identify the solution. The solution is where these two things intersect. That's this point right here. And I need to identify it. Okay, so I'm going to come down here at the bottom, and I'm going to say, okay, the solution to this system is going to be at the point -4, -2. It's a point. It's an xy coordinate that works in both equations. Okay? All right, let's move on. Next example. What looks different? We're dealing with systems of inequalities now. So nothing changes in the fact that we're still going to graph them, okay? We're still going to look for solutions, but this time it's going to look different than the equations in that the solution here was where they intersect. The solution down here is where it's double shaded. So you can see where I highlighted all of that yellow. Those are all the points that work in both inequalities. So there's a lot of points that work. There's not just one point that's a solution, all right? So again, we're going to be looking at the dotted versus the solid lines and the shading up and down and all of that. It's going to be a ton of fun. Let's look at number 4. Starting with the first one. A first thing you notice, right, is that inequality sign. It means I'm going to be shading below, and it means it's going to be dotted or dashed. Okay, so let's graph this first. I'm going to have, let's see, a -5, y equals -5. I'm going to write a dashed line with arrows at the end, and I'm going to be shading below. Now, quick point on this. I like it when students shade just like that. Don't come in here and just go crazy shading, right? Especially with systems of equations, we need to know where it's been double shaded. If you shade like crazy, especially if you only have one color, it's going to be very difficult to figure out where it's been double shaded, okay? So I like to draw these single perpendicular lines. All right. Y is less than -5, and I'm done with that. Okay, moving on to the next one. Looks like I got to get y alone here, so I've got to divide everything by -2. Alarm bells should be going off because when I divide by a negative, I got to switch the sign. So y is less than or equal to, there's a 1 sitting in front of here, so this is -1/2 x. -14 divided by -2 is +7. All right, so I'm going to be shading. This is a less than sign, so it's going to be below. And it is this time going to be solid. Okay, let's do it. So I've got a y-intercept of 7. I have a slope of -1/2, so I'm going to go down 1 over 2, just like so. Okay, perfect. I know it's going to be solid, so I'm going to write that in. Very nice. And I know that I'm shading below it. So again, I'm going to make single perpendicular lines like this that come all the way down through. Okay, so that's everything below. All right, I'm going to label it. So this is going to be -2y is greater than or equal to x minus 14. All right, now for the important part. Where are the solutions? So remember, the solutions are anywhere where it is double shaded, right? Anywhere where it's double shaded. So if I'm looking at this, I'm looking for where I see like these crisscrossing lines of black and green. It's going to be this spot right in here. And we denote it with a capital S. The capital S stands for solutions. Okay, so I could pick any point that's down in this area. I'll even do it. Down in this area, any point in that area is going to be a solution to the system because it works in both inequalities. All right, that ends our video for today. I hope you learned something. See you in class.